Our next startup, it's very interesting. It's all about the bicycling and also the security. And me, I'm a huge bicycle enthusiast, so I'm really looking forward to hear their pitch. So Josh and Simon, please tell us more about the MOSA.
Woo! How are you guys? All energized? So my name is Josh, and this is my co-founder Simon, and we are from MOSA. And we bring intelligent and scalable cycle parking to modern buildings and urban spaces so that we can help cyclists to park safely, cycle more, and save the planet. So raise your hand if you are a cyclist and own a bike. Great. And then keep raising your hand if you sometimes worry that your bike might get stolen. Cool. Yeah, many of you, and we are not alone. So we are from London, and in London, every 90 seconds, one bike gets stolen. And the problem is getting even worse. Why? Because bikes are not cheap commodities anymore. They are now getting smart, electric, and as a result, high value. And the worries about bicycle theft is, of course, getting worse. And we are from the UK, so there are a lot of incentive to help you to get a bike, and with tax deductions and so on. But still, we have 25% of people put off cycling due to the fear of bicycle theft. And then so, when you complain to your city councils or the building owners, asking them to improve the bicycle security, usually they will just ask you to buy heavier locks, more secure locks. And in the UK, they even suggest you to use 2 locks there. I don't know whether they cycle or not, but those locks are not easy to carry, and 2 locks are gonna be super, super heavy. And then so we see different innovation going on. So some startups, they put the GPS trackers on the bike, and they make the locks smarter, or they make that easier for you to carry. You can put that on your waist and so on. But they still don't really get a lot of adoptions because they are expensive. And also usually they are actually not easy to carry. And then so at MOSA, we have a really simple, intelligent, and cost-effective solution. What we have done is that we built a small lock, but that's not for you to carry. We convert conventional racks you see indoors, outdoors, into a secure parking space, and then for different vehicles. And then so the installation is super easy. We have patent on that. So it takes less than 10 minutes for us to convert a normal racks into a small ones. And the experience for cyclists is totally different. And now my co-founder Simon is gonna show you how that works.
All right. So let's assume this is my bike. And I'm at home. I want to go into town. And I want to do so without having to take locks. I use the app to find some MOSA locks that are near where I want to be going. And I simply select a location, and I can reserve a spot there so that I know that there's a spot waiting for me. Once I arrive to the lock, simply tap my phone to the lock, much like an NFC payment, but no money is transacted. It's just sending my details over to the lock to authenticate me as a user. Once it beeps and there's some green LEDs, you simply pull the chain out, bring your bike over, and lock that in. The lock then secures itself and stores your details within it so that only you can unlock your bike. And then you go about your day. And whilst your bike is locked, we have an alarm system. So if someone were to come and try and do something, try and steal your bike or move the chain, it can set off an alarm. So we're going to try and set it off now. There you go. It can go up to 100 decibels. We haven't enabled that here for your sakes. And that's it. It logs any sort of attempts, and then we can report on them later. And once you come back, you simply go back to your lock and repeat the same process to get your bike back. It's that simple.
Great. And then let me tell you more about the technical side of things there. And so because this is not something we need to carry, so we can go wild to make this as secure as possible. So we made this to the highest security standard called Salt Diamond, and we built this with Giant. So they are the world's largest bike maker, and also it's secure on the encryption level as well. So essentially, we send a encrypted keys to your phones, and then in a way that only you can actually activate the locks there, but no one else. And the smart things there is that you can even actually use our locks there when your phone is not connected to the internet, even because a lot of bicycle parking spaces are in the basement. And that's not a concern at all. So that's quite unique about what we do. And then so we want to actually offer this for free because we think everyone deserves secure parkings. And then the reason we do that is that we actually charge our B2B customers, buildings, cities, and for our solution. So we bring intelligent cycle parking hub and management solutions to them. As a result, we can offer that for free for you guys. And and so we think the only way to actually get more people to get on bike is to remove the hassles, worries about owning a bike. And that's what we are working on. So we will be on the machine demo competitions on Friday, and come to support us at noon if you can. Also, we are raising 1.2 million our pre-seed round, and then that's it. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So again, being a timekeeper, I do have to hold you. But
Yeah.
over to you, Pedro, if you have any questions to the guys.
Congratulations on your demo and on your
Thank
product, of course. Thank you. What is the profile of your preferred customer, and why should you buy your services?
Oh, yeah. So actually, in London, Cambridge, also Tel Aviv, we got some trial customers already. And then so usually there will be like the property owners, they own residential or office buildings, and we sell this kind of intelligent cycle parking hubs to them, so they can actually attract high-end tenants there. Also, we save them a lot of time, so they don't need to manage the bicycle parking space themselves, and everything become intelligent. They can control who can park there for how long, and then so those are actually the propositions we provide to them. And so far, the uptake from them has been quite good. Yeah.
And over to the crowd. We have a guy over there. We have some people here as well. Gentlemen,
Hi.
I think you have to come a bit
Hello.
in front.
No worries. So thank you very much for your presentation. Just a quick question. As I'm living in London as well, one of the problems that you can see, especially with expensive bikes, the parts also can be stolen, not just the main frame. So how you tackle this problem? And also, maybe just a part of continuation, cannot you see that, let's say, if you're charging the house societies, which may potentially go to the potential service charge, that the ending customer can actually pay for it, or the same as it happens with the, let's say, employees of the companies? Thank you.
Yeah. For the first one, yes. So this is not perfect in a way that we only can protect your bike and your wheels. But then, yes, this is some risk that your accessory might be stolen there. But then there are two things that we are doing. The first one is that we actually work with the space owners. Usually they have the access management control, and they also have CCTV. And then so those are a better way for you to actually avoid thieves coming in. And the second thing there is that later on we will also introduce insurance, so we can sell you insurance. And if your accessories or other things get stolen there, at least that we can help you to get that back. And so that is how we're trying to address those issues. Yeah.
More questions here. So I think this gentleman over there, please.
Hi guys, I love the presentation, really interesting.
Thanks a lot.
The question is just sort of coming on from the previous question, which was, I know for a lot of local authorities in the UK, they haven't got the money to actually invest in these things, and they kind of rely on the private sector to actually pay for them and then generate revenue from that. Is that an option for you? So you'd have to charge the end user in effect?
We want to be smarter about that, because on one hand, we think the great thing about cycling is that it's inclusive. Everyone can enjoy cycling regardless of your age, gender, and income. If you start to charge people for paid bicycle parking, a lot of people with low income who needs bike more will be excluded. And then so what we are trying to do is to have a more like freemium model. So then you can actually offer free parking for people, but then later on, either you can limit the time, you can only park for free for an hour or two, but after that, you need to pay. Or you can actually sell extra added services. We talked about insurance before. Later on, we can even introduce bicycle repair on this, because our locks, when you get punctured, you don't need to go to bike shop. You can find a lock, they lock your bike. Someone can actually repair your bike, and that's how we can earn money from other areas. And when you talk about city councils there, another thing that we hope we can try to work with them is that we can also even get corporate sponsors on board there to subsidize the price. We can paint the lock, their branding, their color, we can make our app and then into their branding as well for that certain areas if they can really subsidize that. So that's how we think about that. Yeah.
We did have one more question here of this gentleman, and then this one. One more question.
So it seems like this type of service is subject to that issue. From a consumer perspective, you've got to have a certain level of saturation in the market before it's interesting, right? Because if you want to go various places.
Tell me more. Thanks.
So I'm saying just like if you only have one lock available in Lisbon, as the user of the app, if I can only go one place, it's significantly less interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have a plan for how you reach that density to make it truly useful?
Yes. So there are two angles to that. The first one is that we think we can bring values to you one building at a time, even for your office or for your work. If you have our smart locks, and then you can enjoy that right away. So we don't need that network in order to create the values. But having said that, when we have the network there, and then the benefit would actually multiply. But then we want to do that in a very strategic way. So we look at a new concept called 15-minute city, and then we look at a neighborhood, and we want to tackle a small 15-minute city zone, and then to begin with, and one neighborhood at a time. So in London, for example, we work with Olympic Park, and that's a neighborhood with shopping center, office buildings, residential buildings around that areas. So we start to talk to different stakeholders to turn that neighborhood into our Mozart zone. And then that can bring benefit for people who work there before we move to another one. And it means that we don't need to get permission from cities to have the city-wide rollout, but then we can also bring the network to you in a smaller scale before we become bigger. Yeah.
I know we have at least 4 more questions here, but because I am a very strict timekeeper, what I will ask you, please save them, and after the event, go and ask the startups to clarify your questions. Thank you so much.
Thanks
John?
a lot. So we need to,
Over to you,
they
Thomas.
say they are going to do this for us. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you guys.
Go.
So who's been counting how many demos have been so far? 2, 3, you know it. 3, so we're going to the 4th one, all right? So in my cheat code that I have on my phone, which I'm not texting anyone, I'm actually reading some cheat code.